Test. Well, rock and roll. Let's see. Good. Checking the audio on the stream. Got the audio. Looks like we're live. Okay, my goodness. Good. Good so far. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to the Hawker Rising YouTube channel. I'm not Clint Francis Barton, but pretty close. Pretty close. How are you doing? Whether tonight, whether tomorrow morning. So good evening, good morning, good day, wherever you're at on this beautiful creation, this beautiful flat earth. Something, certainly not what we've been told through our beautiful lying textbooks. Good old Jesuit Ratio Studiorum. Good old Montessori method. Good old, what's his name? The author of The Pet Goat. Get to that in a second. Entire screen. Let's try this. I don't have my headphones plugged in. I don't know if this will help with being able to play sound. The Pet Goat. We're gonna just skimming the surface. Just skimming the surface. The Pet Goat, often erroneously called My Pet Goat, is a grade school level reading exercise composed by American educationalist Siegfried Zig Engelmann. Now, on the surface, I did not find or have not found at this time any Jesuit residue. However, doesn't take much. Just flip over the correct rock, and there we have it. It achieved notoriety for being read by U.S. President, so this will be President number 43, George Walker Bush, with a class of second graders on the morning of September 11, 2001. After being discreetly informed of the September 11th attacks midway through the reading, Bush waited quietly for the reading to finish before dealing with the unfolding crisis. The episode figures prominently in the retrospective assessment of Bush's response to the September 11th attacks. What I did want to point out, because this is where it catches my eye, my hawk eye. We go to Siegfried, and we have our, well, both dates are significant to me. We'll just focus on the first one. So November 26th, 1931. So the author of the book that Bush was reading with the class at Emma something Booker Elementary School, I believe it was, which I found briefly. Within about an 8-minute drive, there's, I'm not going to look it up, just what is it? 8-minute drive within the school in Sarasota, Florida. So on the west coast of the Panhandle, on the inside. So how do I want to describe it? Certainly not on the. Why not just look it up? Unbelievable. Show, don't tell. Show, do not tell. Come on, Barton. Come on, Hawkeye. Sarasota, Florida. Sarasota. So within 8 minutes of the school that Bush was at, there were approximately 2 Masonic lodges and 2 Jesuit churches. I wonder if that was, of course, looking at the big picture, just the relationship between Skull and Bones number 43 and, of course, Freemasonry, and of course, yes, the Jesuit Order, or Society of Jesus, specifically on our 9/11, September 11th day of infamy, in more ways than one. So, November 26th. Why is that significant? That this event made this book popular. There's two Jesuit superior generals connected to that date. One, we have Jesuit superior general number 11, Giovanni Paolo Oliva, who was general that began. Okay, not only that, but no, don't. 4 October 1600. 4 October being, we have the birthday of Jesuit Robert Bellarmine. We have the feast day of St. Francis of Assisi. We have the death day of Teresa of Avila, or Teresa of Jesus. We have the beginning of the Gregorian calendar in 1582, the day that Teresa of Avila died. Remember, the source of the Marvel comic universe Thanos Gauntlet, which we now call Thanos of Loyola, since Teresa of Avila was canonized with Francis Xavier and Ignatius Loyola in 1622, March 12th, by Gregory the 15th. And the day that Teresa of Avila died, so 4 October 1582, the Gregorian calendar began, and 11 days were lost. What do you call it? October 4th, in the snap of the Thanos Gauntlet, October 4th became October 15th. Okay, so November 26th, we have a Jesuit general death day. We also have, and then let's add a layer to that too, as a Sun Tzuan drumbeat. Not only is the 26 November 1681, the death day of the 11th Jesuit Superior General, but the 31st of July 1664 was the day that his generalate began. But also too, the fact that we're involving two Jesuit generals with 26 November. Now, keep in mind, this had not taken place on September 11, 2001. Nonetheless, this was the Jesuit Superior General at the time of 9/11, September 11, 2001, Peter Hans Kolvenbach, general that began September 11th. So we're coming up on an anniversary for him too as well. 2003. So essentially a 40-year anniversary since his general began in 2 days. But Kolvenbach died 26 November 2016. Remember, as I've covered before, 5 living popes. 5 living popes. When 31st Jesuit Superior General Arturo Sosa began his generalate, 14 October 2016, Nicholas and Kolvenbach. Kolvenbach still alive, and then combined with Benedict XVI and Pope Francis, or Francis I, leading to what we have today. Okay. So just wanting to point that out with the pet goat, the pet greatest of all time. Good, glad we're crashing through this. All right, I just laid out a couple of things and maybe just going by the prompts. So Sarasota, Florida. Okay, no, we don't need to cover that anymore. Second Vatican Council. Okay, I guess why I wanted to bring this up again. This idea of nothing new being under the sun, mindsets that were established however many years ago. Remember from the 2015 Spotlight film, The Church Thinks in Centuries, Mr. Resendez. That's Mitchell Garabedian, played by Stanley Tucci. in the film. And so this church thing since centuries, Mr. Resendez and Tucci playing Mitch Garabedian also said that the Roman Catholic Church owns everything. Everything. Okay, Second Vatican Council. So, tying into what we've been loosely kind of covering thick. Let's see. Buddhist monk, fire, June 11, 19. Thick Quang Duck, 300 other monks in nuns march and procession down one of Saigon's major boulevards wearing a saffron robe. I'm just mad about saffron. Saffron's mad about me. Mellow yellow. Got some connections there. He sat down in the lotus position on a cushion in the middle of the street. 2 other monks emptied a 5-gallon can of gasoline on him. And Thick Quang Dunk lit a match, dropped it into his lap. So why do I want to bring that up again? Well, remember, this is in the midst, Second Vatican Council, or Vatican II. Second Ecumenical Council of the Vatican, commonly known as Second Vatican Council or Vatican II, 21st Ecumenical Council of the Catholic Church. Who founded it? Who began it? John the 23rd. These are the dates between 11 October 1962 and 8 December 1965. Now remember, the Thick Duck set himself on fire June 11, 1963. When did Johann the 23rd? Yeah, look at this. Also has a birthday, November 25th. So a little close to our 26 November dates as well. Homeboy died June 3rd, 1963. So just before Thick Duck set himself ablaze, John the 23rd died. And his papacy ended, and his successor was Paul. Sorry about that. It's Paul. Let's just read his name. So Paul VI, Giovanni Battista Enrico Antonio Mary Montini. That's Paul VI. Let's just examine. Okay, John the 23rd, Angelo Giuseppe Roncalli. And then, of course, so John the 23rd also, too. Look at this, 28 October 1958. Remember, 28 October has an intimate connection. It's the birthday of the 3rd Jesuit Superior General, Francis Borgia, which I covered before. Apologies, the screen sharing feature I didn't catch it. But the thumbnail with Denzel Washington, the Equalizer 1 and number 3 in the thumbnail, I discuss Denzel Washington figuratively is the Jesuit Superior General and embodies Francis Borgia in the Equalizer 1. And characteristics of the Jesuit Superior General in all films. Certainly, remember, a black man wearing all black, like Johnny Cash, known as the Man in Black. It's all connected. Jesuit theater. But since we're close to 26 November, let's just note that one of our favorite, what would we call her? The namesake of current variant, virulent. No, just trying to think of a word around EG.5, I believe is code for Ellen G. White, which is also code for Mary, the Queen of Heaven, Semiramis, and so on. But November 26, which the significant date because it has a connection to 2 Jesuit superior generals. number 11, and number 30. What did I say? 29. Peter John Kovenbach. And let's just name him again, because again, nobody knows these men's names. Giovanni Paolo Oliva. I was going to say Olivia Oliva. Okay. Check the chat. Okay. Hey, Benjamin. I see that look that Bush had that day of a deer caught in the headlights. Is FR. What's I don't want to get wrapped around FR. What are you saying with the acronym? Can I pronounce it? Or is this adult language? Like AFI, he was shocked. Was he shocked, or was it because again, knowing that not one photographers were on him, but also video. I don't remember if it was televised live, but nonetheless, those images would be frozen in time. And at the same time, knowing that I don't know, some of the dumbass remarks. Again, is it all a show? You've heard me say it many times. If it's on a screen, it's Jesuit theater. I can't imagine even that some of the dumbass moves, statements. Hey, so what was he a deer caught in the headlights, or was that just for the show? If is it Fahrenheit 9/11, and there's, I believe that Michael Moore, with the narration over that scene, was questioning, what, like him being a puppet president. I don't know if he actually says that, but why did he look like that? Was he waiting to be told essentially what to do? Hey, Smoky G, Breakfast with Hawkeye. Here we go again. Not establishing a pattern, but it looks like we're establishing a pattern. It's like, oh shit. Pardon me, I'm just going to mute. All right, so why bring up Pope John the 23rd? Because at the same time, within days of his death, we have the burning alive, weather staged, and thank you, Bill, for the footage link. No, what does the footage prove? It's horrible footage. Certainly, if it's obviously trying to find the source for that, and if there's more to it, because it looks like it has been edited or cut. And again, what I asked yesterday, this idea that just because you see it doesn't necessarily mean it's gone down that way. Remember, and I'll use this example of in childhood, I had a friend who created a piece of film with his brother, and essentially, and just like describing the Kuleshov effect yesterday. And the scene goes like this: on top of a house roof, high up in the air, a boy. So this is being filmed. So a boy puts on a helmet, climbs into a box, and his brother stuffs it with pillows. That's shot number one. Shot number two, you have Big Brother pushing the box off the roof, and it falls and falls and falls, crash lands on the ground. Shot number three, the box bursts open. The younger brother jumps out with his helmet on from inside the box. So, loosely, the Kuleshov effect, one cut leading to another, leading the viewer to believe that, through the beauty of editing, the work, the magic that's done behind the scenes, that here you have the literal event of a brother stuffing his little brother in a box, and rolling him off a roof, and yet we certainly know that nobody was in the box. Viewing it obviously as a critical thinker, as an adult, nobody was in the box, and back to behind the scenes making the donuts. But as it's presented, if you were to follow it linearly and literally, the story is there was a boy in the box, fell from a great height, and he survived because of padding, because of a crash helmet. And what was the same thing done, through photographs and that shitty video. Again, I don't know if there's more video. I'm not taking a position on it saying that there was a replacement, and certainly there would have been certainly over 300 witnesses. And the fact that there was one prominent photographer, Malcolm Wild Browne, present, who shot 10 rolls. So anywhere from 240 to 360 exposures of the event. And then that one, so far from what I've seen, that gives part of the narrative with that from behind, the monk smiling to his buddy, or looking at his buddy, and you can see with the profile of his face, he's clearly got some kind of, either is it a smile? It's not definitive. Is he talking? Is he enunciating a certain word, or is he laughing? Certainly gives that impression. Is that the impression I want him to have, or the impression that I'm having because I want to have it? Or is it just, again, standing back, taking a look, examining what we have? All right, let's go back. So we have the burning in the midst, just after the death of John the 23rd. Why is this significant? This is significant to me. Again, this idea that mindsets exist, not just in the present, but also at other times. So we have, remember, Antipope. Let's see if this comes up. Antipope John the 23rd. Now, what will this tell us? Baldassar Cosa. So we have a second John the 23rd, and it's fascinating that this is the only pope, to my knowledge, in history where this name has been used twice. So we have John the 23rd from, we go back to the early 15th century, 1410 to 1415. So he was, look at this, papacy began 25th of May. 25th of May makes me think of George Floyd, the death of George Floyd in 2020. Feast day, called the third finding of the head of John the Baptist, and then his papacy ended 29 May 1415. Now, May, June, July 6, 1415, we have a significant burning. Who was it John Rambo? John Hus burned July 6, 1415. So just over, I don't want to, it wasn't exactly 2 months, but just after, oh my goodness, hold on, let's go back. His papacy ended, but his death, Western Schism, the Catholic Church, okay, I want to make sure that I'd rather have his death day, not just the ending of his papacy. Death and burial. Okay, so Cosa was freed in 1418 after a heavy ransom was paid by the Medici. He went to Florence, where he submitted to Martin V, who made him cardinal bishop. Cosa died only a few months later. Well, okay, when? On a date. All right, while I'm thinking about that. Okay, so numbering issues. I think this would address that briefly. Yes, acknowledging Wikipedia, Wikipedia. He should not be confused with Pope John the 23rd of the 20th century, when Angelo Roncalli was elected Pope in 1958. There was some confusion as to whether he would be John the 23rd or John the 24th. He then declared that he was John the 23rd to put this question to rest. There was no John the 20th, since that number was skipped due to an error by medieval Pope John the 21st. That is why Gibbon refers to the antipope as John the 22nd. Interesting. Okay, let's take a quick look at what am I missing. For real. Yeah, thank you. You didn't read my complete comment. You kind of lost what I meant. Hey, that's the beauty of shitty communication. What did I miss? Well, if I lost what you meant, that's on me. Apologies. Oh yeah, low intellect. Certainly, that's what was put across. Doesn't mean it's well, just like current homeboy Jesuit Dewey Rhymes in what's the word? Not inducted. With the Dewey Rhymes, the mile thick heirloom Bible. Well, oh no, I'm forgetting a word, and it's starting to piss me off. And I'm forgetting the name of the Jesuit. Leo Donovan. Leo. Invocation. Invocation Joe Biden. And Leo Donovan, remember, former, I believe, director of Disney for over through a portion of the 90s into the 2000s. Jesuit, so Leo J. O'Donovan, Society of Jesus, delivered the invocation at the inauguration of President Joseph Robinette Biden Jr., the nation's second Catholic president. Bill can throw the bullshit flag. Second Catholic president. Okay. All right. So back to this idea, though, in our current times, going back to the mindset back to 1415 and the burning of Jan Hus. And then, of course, on the anniversary day of last year of the burning of Jan Hus, July 6th, we have the George Bush Guidestones, the George. Can I spell? July 6, 20. Yeah, exposing George Guidestones. Anyway, we have our event leading up to it. So an explosion had happened, I believe, on the 5th, and then on the 6th, they were razed to the ground intentionally. Former CEO. Yep. Thank you very much. Yeah, Jesuit, CEO, Disney. Curious, huh? And since we just had the 250th anniversary of the suppression of the Society of Jesus, just briefly examining this because of today's date as well, in part, because today's date, September 11th, is also in part August 29, and August 29 is in part September 11, with the Julian Gregorian exchange. And we just had our 250th anniversary of the suppression of the Society of Jesus, and our 250th Pope just happened to be Pius VI. Remember, he was arrested 1798. We have 1798, and then, of course, his death, 29 August 1799. So let's see. Subject and later, the sovereign of the Papal States condemned the French Revolution. Yeah, he sure did. Remember, it's all lip service at this point. From the Papal States by French troops from 1798 until his death, the last pope to be patron of the Renaissance arts. During his pontificate, the astronomer William Herschel, studying the movement of the stars, was the first to realize that the solar system is moving in space and determined the approximate direction of the movement. He also discovered that the Milky Way, which in the late 18th century was believed to be the entire universe, is flat, disc-shaped, and with the sun at its center. Fascinating assertion, discovered to be wrong decades later, because today it is known that the sun is not located in the galactic center. All right, just wanted to note that. So, September 11. I'm sure today's date, of course, day of infamy for most of us. Man, it'd be fascinating to not have been born yet, and then to have grown up, going to school and being, raised in a family and then going to school, public school or private, whatever, and hearing the narrative and having that ingrained. And would that person be even able to would they have an ability to question the narrative? But that's in part what our role is somehow. So if we want to also remember and acknowledge, so today is potentially, and I think the legitimate birth date, the birthday of Jesus of Nazareth, September 11th, 3 BC. It's also the day of the beheading of John the Baptist, so Jesus' cousin. And then, as we covered before many times, this idea of Johannism, specifically in cinema, how John and the character John, in development of characters that bear the name John, are consistently the hero of many different narratives, like the John Rambos, the John Wicks. And then I quickly run out of steam, but there are clearly other Johns. Anyway, and then of course, one major source, the late, so Michael S. Heiser. Can I spell? No. So, born the same year of the burning of Thick Quang Duc, and in the midst of Vatican II, and then he died earlier this year. But in part, the question is, because I believe it's not listed here, I think it's the facade. There's actually a character who is a Jesuit priest. So who is this man? What is it? What is that identity? Again, brilliant mind. Some might criticize him. You apply the erudite, not just what would be another descriptor. Not maybe say arrogant. I don't know. I don't know if I'd say that, but certainly a source of was a wealth of information, and certainly we must point out, being of the University of Pennsylvania, certainly Jesuit trained, potentially an ordained Jesuit. And then he gave us into popularity. And I believe there has been other work, but in our time, or let's say my time, September 11th, 3 BC, and then citing, of course, the scriptures, and we're making a reference to Revelation 12. Martin's work. Okay, I didn't. But this idea that the creator of heaven and earth, the one that put the star, that created the sun, moon, and stars in the firmament, that wouldn't potentially leave a signature. Now, of course, this is a subject matter that is so much bigger than what I'm going to cover tonight. But the fact that our scriptures, Revelation 12, do they give us a clue of the birthday, the But if it's true, an 80-minute, even less than 80-minute window, an 80-minute window that exists within all of human history of occurrences of signs in the sky, and that it happened to also be on on Tishri 1, the Feast of Trumpets, and within the sky, the king star Regulus, and in conjunction with the king planet Jupiter within the constellation Leo the lion, as for the lion of the tribe of Judah, something significant happened. And then, of course, as Revelation lays out, the Virgin, Virgo, the sun being crowned with 12 stars, the moon at her feet, and the sun in her womb for 80 minutes, and then erupting from her womb. So something significant going on in the sky. Anyway, but then this date also tied in with John the Baptist and the beheading. Okay, what I will briefly look at. What am I missing? CEO of Disney. Having a late Greek breakfast. Glass of water, black coffee, and a cigarette. All right, guys. I think. Okay, we covered. We have the author of the book that Bush was holding, and the class was reading from. And the name of the teacher, Celestine Campbell. Fascinating, Celestine Campbell. At Emma, I believe it was Emma Booker Elementary School. Again, within 8 minutes, there were 8 minutes driving, and this is just by Google Maps, good old Google. Remember, same birthday as the Jesuit order, September 27. Tells us that there were two Jesuit churches, and I believe 2 Masonic lodges within a distance or time of the school. What else do we have? I'm just looking at some notes that I'd had, and John the 23rd now and before. Good. I think there's some topics here I'll leave for another time, but just wanted, again, crossing the 250th anniversary of the suppression of the Society of Jesus, and just looking at the 250th Pope, who died August 29th, 1799. Now, of course, I keep saying that because here's our reference, and let's see, Terminator. Jude. Judgment Day, August 29th. How about this? Let me know if the audio comes through. Good old Walmart. Is the audio coming through? Just let me know. And then, of course, I should be playing it but then I don't want to get the strike. Is this up? No, where is it? Oh, hey. Audio is good, as in, okay, the audio of the clip, did it come through? which means I won't be plugging in. If that came through, then I won't be plugging in if I'm going to be playing some kind of clips. It's funny, before that, I was actually going to hit, because looking at a couple different topics, looking up Verona and Girolamo, just the name reminds me of, yeah. Dirty, dirty song. Giving it up for the younger kinds. What the F? Grown men. Yeah. Wow. Little muffled on the clip. Yeah. The Terminator, it was low audio, not the best. No audio in the video. Okay. 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 I got to still figure that part out then. Little muffled on the clip. All right. We'll leave it at that. September 11th, 3 BC, the legitimate birth date of Jesus of Nazareth. August 29th, the feast day of the beheading of John the Baptist. In popular culture, Terminator 2 Judgment Day. The anagram of 1799 turned to 1997. Significant event. But how about this? That the Skynet comes online at Schwarzenegger's character says 2:14 a.m. August 29th, 1997. 2:14, so which could be interpreted as February 14th. We certainly know that Berthier. It's kind of up in the air when Berthier arrested. General Berthier arrested under Napoleon, arrested Pius VI. We have a February 10. We have a February 14, 15. I think there's a February 20th in there somewhere. So certainly a clear reference to that date as well. But that's another topic for another time. Anyway, I'll put some links in the description. It's okay. Your own audio is good though. Okay, fantastic. Appreciate it, Benjamin. Smoggy. Enjoy your Greek breakfast. All right. Bless you guys. Until next time.